Hey everybody, it is Kellen Nitro for Nitromaniac TV's wrestling channel, and this is my predictions video for Money in the Bank 2019. The pay-per-view goes down this coming Sunday on the WWE Network and on pay-per-view and various streaming sites throughout the known universe. And here are my picks on who to take in these matches, so you might want to pick opposite of what I pick, because my record in these, and not very good. Start things off with the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match with the champions Daniel Bryan and Rowan. And oh, how have the mighty fallen. Daniel Bryan goes from being in a WWE title feud with Kofi Kingston right down to a tag team pre-show match at Money in the Bank to right the next pay-per-view. So, hopefully everything's alright there. Versus the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. I think Daniel Bryan and Rowan will retain here just due to the fact that the Usos are on Raw. I don't see the SmackDown tag team belts, even with the wild card rule now, being defended from brand to brand back and forth, while the Raw tag team titles are all of a sudden made the lesser belts for whatever reason. I think Bryan and Rowan will retain those titles in the pre-show. Cruiserweight title, the champion Tony Nese versus Ariya Daivari. Tony Nese just turning up 205 Live big time ever since that big matchup the week of WrestleMania, and probably my last live wrestling match that I'll see for a while was Tony Nese versus Buddy Murphy for the rematch for the Cruiserweight title, that amazing match on 205 Live the Tuesday after WrestleMania. Just due to the fact that, life and travel and everything costs money, and gotta get my ducks in a row here before I go out and do any more on-the-spot reporting and stuff like that you've seen on this channel. But, Tony Nese versus Ariya Daivari. I think Nese will retain here. I don't see a big title change forthcoming. I think if he does drop the belt, it would be to somebody like a Murphy to get some mainstream looks on SmackDown with, or maybe another heel, maybe a Drew Gulak, something along the lines. But Ariya, I don't see it. U.S. title, Samoa Joe, the champion, taking on Rey Mysterio, and I think this is going to be the pay-per-view that Mysterio beats Joe. I really do. I think that they're going to have Mysterio maybe hold the U.S. belt for a while, and then maybe at the Saudi show on June 7th, Joe wins it back. This is a belt that you could probably hot potato back and forth a little bit, and no one is the wiser. It should be a really good match, but I think that Ray will probably walk out with the United States title now that both competitors are on Raw as well. So now, using Wikipedia's list or rundown of matches, they've got listed Kofi Kingston versus Kevin Owens for the WWE Championship, kind of in the second match on the main pay-per-view spot. I doubt that it will go that early. But I think but just using the rubric that I got here and the list, I think Kofi will retain the WWE title. I really don't see Kevin Owens winning it here. I think that if they do a title change, it won't be until later in the year, until SummerSlam perhaps, maybe even a Survivor Series if they do a WWE title match, if they don't do Universal for the WWE Champion. But that seems to be a traditional part of Survivor Series now, so I think at the latest you'll see a WWE Championship title switch at SummerSlam, and I think Kofi will hold it until then, so that's my prediction. Steel cage match up next, where you've got The Miz versus Shane McMahon, and of course that match is a traditional feud ending match where you blow off the feud and the good guy wins and gets his comeuppance, and I think just old school booking wise, I believe that's what's going to happen here. I think The Miz is finally going to get Shane McMahon in the cage and make Shane pay for all his comeuppance. We're going to see Shane probably do a really wacky high spot, because that's what Shane does, and The Miz will walk out at the end of the day with the Best in the World trophy, and the Cosmic Ballet will roll on. We'll look at Becky's two matches as Becky, two belts, defends both her titles, the Raw and SmackDown Women's title. Becky will defend the SmackDown Women's title against Charlotte Flair. I think Becky will retain that belt, and Becky will take on Lacey Evans later on in the card, or before, depending on where they put the match. Wikipedia has that listed as the main event. so I'm not sure. We'll see what happens there. But Becky, I think, will walk out with both belts. I think the potential is there for a Money in the Bank cash-in on either or, depending on where the women's Money in the Bank match is during the card. If that's the case, then all bets are off, obviously. But in regards to these two matches, I think Becky will retain the belts in both these matches. I don't really see, especially with both Lacey and Charlotte getting the upper hand on Becky on the Go Home Raw from London this week. I really don't see either one of them walking out with a belt. However, I do think that the opportunity is ripe for a cash-in at Money in the Bank, maybe immediately after the women's match, or women's ladder match is done. So we'll see what happens. But in regards of the two matches there, I think Becky will retain both belts. I don't see Charlotte or Lacey walking out with either title. Straight challenge match between Elias and Roman Reigns, and Big Dog's going to hunt. I think Roman Reigns will beat Elias, pure and simple. Make that the opener of the show. That's all I gotta say. That would be a ballistic opener. I think that would set the pace for the show pretty awesome in that first hour if they just do a straight television match between Elias and Roman Reigns, and maybe have Elias walk out and just run down the crowd. That would be great. WWE Universal Championship, kind of a dream match between Seth Rollins and AJ Styles, and I think that this might be the first of a trilogy of matches that we might see between the two of them. So in that case, I think Seth will retain. I wouldn't mind seeing AJ in this program perhaps turn full heel on Seth, and maybe that be a utilization of the Good Brothers to get the club back together, to do to really solidify AJ as that heel pitbull once again, and then maybe later on in the year you do a switch for the title between Rollins and Styles. But in regards to this pay-per-view here, I think Seth will walk out with the Universal title. Both Money in the Bank matches to close off this predictions video. On the women's side, the Money in the Bank ladder match has gotten Natalya, Dana Brooke, Naomi, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Ember Moon, Carmella, and Nikki Cross. I think that going into this, especially when they were teasing Alexa Bliss in the match, it was fairly, it kind of felt cut and dry that Alexa would probably walk out with the Money in the Bank. But now that Alexa is not being listed and that Nikki Cross has taken her spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match, I think now my prediction will go with Nikki Cross. I think that she is experiencing kind of a character transformation somewhat, and I think that the Money in the Bank would probably be best suited out of everybody in that match to help her go forward into it. So look for Nikki Cross to win the Money in the Bank ladder match, and then I predict that you won't see, I know it's kind of contradicting what I was talking about earlier, but I'm predicting that you won't see a Money in the Bank cash in on a women's side during the pay-per-view at all. Same with the men's side. I don't think you're going to see a cash in at all at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view for the either WWE or Universal title. I think that will be left till later on down the line. Actually, I think that we're in. I hope and I think that both these will be cash-ins that take a while to develop. I think that the Money in the Bank holders will hold on to their briefcases for quite a while, maybe even into the new year, into 2020 a little bit. I wouldn't mind either winner defending the Money in the Bank briefcase at a pay-per-view too, like a title. I think that would be I think that'd be very interesting for sure. But in the men's match, you got Sami Zayn, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Ali, Finn Balor, Andrade Cien Almas, and Randy Orton. And I think out of all of these people, Drew McIntyre to me seems to be the odds-on favorite and my pick to win the Money in the Bank. And I think that he'll win it and be very calculative, as his heel persona has kind of developed to be. And I think he will strike when the time is right. And it might not be on Raw. I think that he would go after Kofi, maybe even in Saudi Arabia. I'm not even sure on the return for that. So we'll see what happens off that. But I think that I think on both sides we'll be waiting a while for a cash in. All right, folks, that's my predictions. Leave yours below, and we'll see who's right on Sunday. Now, as for Nitro's take on this, it'll be delayed a few days. I'm taking some time off, doing some holiday time and that stuff, taking some time away from both YouTube channels just to reset the mind a little bit and take a little bit of a vacation. But as soon as I get back, I will crank out a Nitro's take of Money in the Bank. Watch it right. Won't be able to watch it right away, just going camping and that stuff. But I will, when I get back, I'll get a chance to watch it, and I'll let you guys know what I think. All right, folks. Thanks again. Thanks for subscribing if you're brand new. Later days, happy wrestling watching, and we'll see you next time.